Hello there. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Here we do tarot readings for the collective, and I say we because although I am the one reading the cards, by listening and thinking about what I have to say and applying it to your own life, you are a co-creator of this reading with me. And today's reading I am really excited about. I'm going to be doing a life assessment reading with a spread created by the Tarot Diagnosis. They are a couple of therapists who do some amazing creative work at the intersection of tarot and psychology, and were very kindly happy to let me use this spread for this video. So they've got a podcast and post some really cool spreads to their Instagram account, and I will link them down below so you can find them. So as usual, we will be lighting our candle and setting our intention for this session to be in highest and greatest good for you and me and everyone. Oh, what am I doing? Here we are. So I would now like to invite you to settle in, take a few nice deep breaths, and if it feels comfortable for you, put a hand over the heart, and you can close your eyes or gaze into the candle here. On behalf of your highest and greatest good and my own, and the highest and greatest good of all, we call upon sacred, benevolent guidance within us and without that is in perfect alignment for this tarot reading. May this reading be conducted only in our highest and greatest good. May each card drawn bless us with its unique medicine, and may we be open and receptive to this healing guidance. May we gain the perspective needed to be present with what is, to tend what is calling for our tending, and to move as appropriate, ever towards aligned and empowered growth. This we make true, and so it is. Intention set. Now let us get into our reading. Today we will be using the Numinous Tarot deck, and this is one of my, if not my favorite of my decks, if only because it was the first one which I bought for myself. I know we're not supposed to do that, but I did. And this deck is so gentle and tender, but it also doesn't shy away from the difficult subjects. So we're just going to give the cards a nice good shuffle, and while we're doing that, I will invite you again to tune into your breathing and let your mind, as much as you can, come to a place of rest and peace as you listen to the sounds of the cards. Now let's lay them out. And the first card we're going to draw is going to tell us what is going really well in your life today, at this moment in time. It's always nice to have a good anchor in the positive as we explore as well where you would like to see some improvement. And that will be our next card. Following that, what is blocking you from that improvement? And lastly, what you need to know in order to move forward. Alright, so what is going well in your life at this moment? We have the Three of Bells, traditionally the Three of Swords. And where there could be some improvement, we have the Creator of Candles, traditionally known as the Queen of Wands. What's blocking you is awakening. also known as the Judgment card. And what you need to know in order to move forward, we have the Diviner or the High Priestess. Let's begin with the Three of Bells, a card that often brings up fear when it presents itself, but this card tells me that you are doing very well at this moment in time when it comes to healing your emotional pain. You have worked to stop trying to think your way out of it, but are instead finding ways to connect with it on a deeper level, to be present with your pain, to listen to it and validate it and tend to it. These three bells represent our thoughts, represent our mind trying to keep us from going into the very heart of our wounding. And sometimes that is actually perfectly okay. We often do this when the pain is too raw and tender for us to be with it. But the heart is bleeding. The heart is wounded, and if we keep letting those bells drown it out, those wounds will never be able to heal, because at the end of the day, they need to be felt. They need to be expressed so that they may eventually be released. And with the Three of Bells showing up in this position, this tells me that you are doing that, that you have heard the call of your heart even through the din of these bells, and you are coming home to it. You are letting yourself feel finally potentially old wounding, and maybe something fresher as well. But either way, this card is a beautiful reminder to keep going, to not leave your heart behind. We have a tendency to do this, when we know that it will be very painful to actually be present with our heart. But in the long run, it is even more painful not to. So beautifully done. You keep going. Next we have the creator of candles, also known as the Queen of Wands. And this queen is the very center of our sense of empowerment. Empowerment, not power over. This creator, this queen, does not need anyone else to recognize that they are empowered. It is something that burns within them, that helps them to channel their will into reality. They shine from within because they know who they are and what they can do. All of this sounds beautiful, but if you're anything like me, you're wondering, how could I ever get to that place? I don't feel empowered. I don't feel as if my actions can create the world that I desire to see. I don't feel capable or strong. But here's the secret, and I think I said this in the last reading. This is you. This queen lives within you, and as disconnected from this part of yourself as you may feel, this cannot be taken away from you. This queen, this creator, they exist within you no matter how far away they may feel. And nothing can take away your access to this part of yourself. We can cultivate a relationship with our Queen of Candles. We can strengthen that bond until touching in with them feels as easy and as natural as breathing. We can build the fire within us. We can feed it we can tend it. We can help it to burn stably and strongly. As disconnected from this part of yourself as you may feel, they are an intrinsic part of who you are. And our next card will illuminate for us what is blocking us from this part of ourselves. And the card after that will help us to reconnect to them, to this archetype, to this fire that, even if it is but a tiny flickering tea candle within you at this moment, you have the ability, the capacity to help it grow. So what is blocking our connection to the Queen of Candles, the Queen of Wands? Here we have the Judgment card, here named Awakening. And we see a figure emerging from a cave, about to step out into the light. And in the story told by the creator of this deck, they are also realizing now that they were in a cave all along. They hadn't even known until they reached the exit. The awakening is not exactly a block. It tells me that we are going through a process that is radically shifting our very ideas about what life is, about its meaning, about it is helping us to see things that we have always taken for granted as potentially not as true as we thought they were. The Awakening card brings in nothing less than a paradigm shift. It turns everything on its head, makes us question in a growthful way all of our previously held beliefs. This process is beautiful, but it is incredibly disorienting. And when we are questioning absolutely everything, we must also question ourselves. Who even is your Queen of Candles? What is it what you desire. What is the source of your power? What do you want to create, to build, to manifest? Awakening is a block, but it's a bit of a necessary one. And the way out isn't to overcome it, but to work through it, to let yourself question, to let yourself rethink things that you thought were fact, beliefs about the way the world works, about who you are, that felt solid and real. Let them be shaken up by awakening. Let it all come into question and see what insights, what new ways of thinking come to you. As I said, when this card appears, you may be feeling incredibly disoriented, off kilter, all over the place, unsure. This is not actually a problem. It's part of the process, and it's leading you toward understanding in a whole new way. So, yes, you'll have to move through the awakening process. You'll have to rethink potentially what it even means for you to feel empowered. But you will come out of it with a stronger connection to the Queen of Wands, to the center of your power, and to a sense of yourself as able to manifest the things that you want to manifest in your life. Lastly, we have the diviner as the thing you need to know in order to move forward. And the first thing the diviner wants you to know is that no matter how off-kilter you may currently feel, there is an intuitive center within you that you can always come home to. It is connected to the Creator of Wands. It is a source, if not the source, of your empowerment. The diviner also speaks to underworld journeys, journeys that feel exactly like awakening, as if up is down and down is up, and everything you thought you knew is being called into question. The diviner reminds you that you have been here before and you have made it through and back to the surface. Trauma can be healed, and every time we heal, every time we go through the underworld, we gain wisdom. We come out stronger. We come out with magic. The diviner is a witch, and by that I mean they have the gift of intuition, and through that intuition, deep connection to the wisdom of the very universe, a wisdom that is infinite, that is unknowable, and yet the diviner is a translator of that wisdom. The diviner wants you to know that even if it feels like you are losing yourself, awakening is not separating you from your empowerment, from yourself. It is bringing you home to yourself in a deeper way than you have ever felt before. Logic and practicality are not entirely useful for a journey like this. Quiet and listening are required. Listening is how we connect with the diviner. They are blindfolded, and they are in control of their thoughts. They know that beneath the thinking mind, beyond it, is where our true wisdom lies. And although I said practicality is not terribly useful, I will give one piece of practical advice. Now would be a really good time to practice mindfulness, to do whatever works best for you. Journaling, meditation, simply practicing presence. could be incredibly helpful. Anything to help you to detach a little bit from the part of your mind that is scrambling, that is tangled, that is scared by all of the current unknowns. The bells here represent our thoughts, and I'm not sure if you can see, but the diviner is holding those bells aloft. There is a space, a lightness between them and their thoughts. This isn't about shutting down the mind, but becoming more aware of it so that we can move beyond it, so that we can let them be and not attach to them so much. When we are able to do this, when we are able to get quiet, we will find our center in all of this chaos. Just listen, dear heart, and remember, you are not losing yourself. You are coming home. Well, that was your reading, dear heart. I hope it serves you in some way. I always mean to say and always forget that these readings are collective readings. So if something doesn't resonate for you, feel more than free to leave it here. I am of the belief that if you were drawn here, there's something in this reading for you. So whatever does resonate, whatever is helpful, please take that and leave the rest. Before I say goodbye, I would just like to humbly and gratefully ask you to like, comment, subscribe. Oh, and hit that notification bell so you know when I've posted new content. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, day, night, beautiful sleep, if that's where you're headed. Thank you so very much for watching and for your support. Good night.